Alright, here we are with a first look at the Pulse 3D wireless headset for PlayStation 5. Much like our DualSense unboxing and early look, outside of a PS5 there's not a whole lot you can do, but this does have a lot more usability outside of PS5. Like, for example, it does work with PS4, but really this is more of a generic audio device in that you can connect it to many things and it's recognized very easily. So we'll do some early tests and check out the microphone quality, things like that, and just, again, it's an early look, not necessarily a review. When I got this in the mail, it is super loose, but maybe that's just a lot of the documentation flying around in there. And, that is a slight worry here, that when people saw this thing, they said, it looks a little cheap. And for $100, you hope it's a decent quality, but when it comes to audio devices or headsets, $100 is really a drop in the bucket. So it's a lot of money, no doubt, but when it comes to really high quality stuff, audiophiles can spend hundreds of thousands of dollars for a good audio experience. And here we've probably got some wires. That's our USB-C, and they do actually provide the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack cable, spare cable. You might already have one lying around. And there's a dongle. I'm going to do a quick comparison right now with one of the dongles that I have. So a little smaller, not a huge deal, but always nice that it takes up less space. And yeah, it's kind of just sitting in like a little styrofoam bottom. A little plastic, yeah. But there it is. Very nice. Yeah, so you get this right here is where it's a little scary for some people because it's a little bit thin, We're talking about plastic at the end of the day, so you do want to, you hope that it has a little bit of longevity to it, especially because, real quick, the one that I have, or that I've been using for a long time, some people don't even remember these. These are the original Pulse headphones for PlayStation 3. And I believe this was Sony's first official offering for a headset on their consoles. And I think this was 150 MSRP at the time. So this is well over, I don't know, close to 10 years old now, this headset. And obviously it's disgusting and it's beat up like crazy. Now I know you're looking at this and you're going, come on, man, what are you doing? You don't take care of your possessions. This is the product of time. This is what happened to this thing over time, and I'd imagine that some of the other headsets that Sony offered after this are going to start looking like this very soon. But right here, this little trim piece, this is broken off. Now this still works, but it's disgusting. All this keeps flying off of it, and yeah, they've refined this many times over, but this was the one I initially bought and still use today, so I haven't even really played. Look at all the debris that fell off of that. I haven't even really used some of the more recent headsets. I don't own them, but I've tested them a few times at a buddy's place. Anyway, we've got some plastic here. For some of the controls on it, you got chat and game, off, monitor, got your volume rocker, the mute switch, which actually has it clicks out a bit, and you can tell from an orange colored trim around it to know that it's muted. But this would be on your head, so you really can't see it. But it protrudes higher. Your USB-C, headphone jack, power is a slide switch for that. You can see it come on. What are we waiting for? Let's plug this thing in. We got a PS4 right here. And right away, what always bothers me about these things is that it's all muscle memory in terms of remembering where all the switches are on the side. And so I just took this thing out of the box. I already don't know where the volume rocker is. But what's notable is that the right side actually has nothing on it. So this is going to be all on the left side. Volume on the left. Volume's a little bit lower. Up top is the mix between chat and game. Now, in terms of comfortability, it seems fine for the most part, at least initially, right? I'm going to play with this for a few hours and report back, but it didn't seem uncomfortable by putting it on right away. Now, that might largely depend on the size of your head because you do have this little rubber piece here that stretches and adjusts based on, well, the size of that head of yours, and maybe it might be more problematic if you do have a larger head, but it seems very elastic, and Seems like it has a lot of give to it, to be honest. I mean, I'm already kind of tugging on this in a way that might be questionable, but it seems fine. Although, with the tugging, I mean, it wouldn't take much force to break this. Not that you'd want to, but keep it away from kids. That would be my recommendation. And then I'd still worry about this, whatever material this is that they use for these the actual cushioning, because that we see how ugly mine looks after a few years. And mind you, I'm not an audio guy. I'm not an audiophile that you'd call it. This is definitely more through the scope of somebody that I can tell if something sounds really good or really bad, and that's about it. So with that perspective in mind, you're not really going to get a true audiophile explaining certain things to you and being able to describe certain audio depths and the certain nomenclature that goes along with it, right? I can't really do that. But anyway, let's keep using this. Back to the PS3. You know how we do around here. And why don't I use my new USB-C cable with the PlayStation, or with the DualSense. And this is good to point out, because if you buy a spare DualSense, that will not come with a USB-C cable. You're going to use the one that's supplied with your PlayStation 5. But if you're just buying a DualSense right now just to play with it and have fun with it and test it on devices, make sure you have a spare USB-C. Nah, no good on PlayStation 3. Alright, so we're going to actually test a few different devices just so we have a good idea of something to compare it to. We'll also try the DualSense that has a microphone that we didn't actually test in our DualSense video here on this channel. But we'll do that. 2 headsets, including this microphone, the Blue Yeti microphone that I use for YouTube. This is obviously going to sound the nicest, but we've got 3 test sentences to read off here. So starting with the Blue Yeti. It snowed, rained, and hailed the same morning. The fish twisted and turned on the bent hook. Press the pants and sew a button on the vest. It snowed, rained, and hailed the same morning. The fish twisted and turned on the bent hook. Press the pants and sew a button on the vest. It snowed, rained, and hailed the same morning. The fish twisted and turned on the bent hook. Press the pants and sew a button on the vest. It snowed, rained, and hailed the same morning. The fish twisted and turned on the bent hook. Press the pants and sew a button on the vest. It snowed, rained, and hailed the same morning. The fish twisted and turned on the bent hook. Press the pants and sew a button on the vest. It snowed, rained, and hailed the same morning. The fish twisted and turned on the bent hook. Press the pants and sew a button on the vest. So, not too bad, right? I think it sounds pretty good. Not terrible by any stretch, and I think when you're comparing it to, what you might find online or the chat quality against your friends, I think you're ahead of most people. It sounds good. And in this price range, I think this is about what you're going to get, really. Now, I haven't tested a lot of microphones on PlayStation 4, but it seems comparable to what else you'd find for around $100 or so. But obviously, there's still going to be better options out there. Now, let's actually try PlayStation VR, or just putting that on with these. And we'll keep this on the whole time audio-wise, so you can hear it from a distance. And since Sony goes out of their way to say it's for this, I mean, I'm going to imagine that it's going to be a good fit. This isn't even on, by the way. Even though if it was on, I still wouldn't be able to see anything. Oh yeah, that's a good fit. Solid fit, actually. And, you could tell from this, opening right here that I'm easily getting my finger in, if you can see that. But yeah, this is a very good fit. So for the current PSVR headset, it works pretty good. Okay, so I've been playing with the headphones for a few hours now, and they sound good, still comfortable, which is really important, especially for somebody like me. I get really annoyed when I have headphones on for too long, whether they go in the ear, over the ear, whatever. I can't do it for that long. These still seem fine, which is great. And the sound is good. Ghost of Tsushima does have a 3D audio setting. So if you've got these or the other headsets that Sony's offered, that'll be a setting you can utilize right away. But, it is important to note, if I didn't make it clear earlier, you don't need these headphones specifically to enjoy 3D audio on PlayStation 5. That's a big part of what the 3D audio engine actually is on PS5. They want to make a good 3D audio experience for any headphones that you bring into the system. So while this is Sony's offering, and they might market it as a necessary item that you should buy, you really don't need it. If you've already got a good pair of headphones, a solid pair of headphones, and certainly one that ones that are more expensive and probably better than the one I'm wearing right now, keep that. You're going to be good to go on PS5. But, you know, if you're in the market for a new one, if you've been using Sony's headsets, if you like them, if they're in your price range, I think this is fine so far. But, you know, if there's any extra optimization that this headset will really offer over everything else, I don't really think that's going to happen. Because they've made it pretty clear they want to make sure that everybody has this same experience moving forward. So on PlayStation 5, they are starting with traditional headphones first, whether it's through the DualSense plugged in or, you know, a more premium headset that you have, you should be able to utilize that feature. And then they'll be working on virtual surround sound, that's from TV speakers or through a sound bar. And then in terms of priority level, then they'll go to surround sound systems. That's at least what they've said the last time they talked about this. But so far, this seems fine. Like, I wouldn't say this headset's incredible by any stretch. And once PlayStation 5 does drop, we'll have a full suite of reviews in one video for all the accessories, because there's really no need to do separate videos for all those things. So yeah, this is okay. Also, if I didn't mention this, the monitor button, that's always a great feature to have on headphones. That'll offer a little pass-through for your voice, and so you can hear yourself ever so slightly right through the headphones. And it works just well enough to where it's not throwing you off hearing your own voice through the headphones. It really just, it clears up that muffled sound if you were to have that off trying to hear yourself talking. That's great to have here. Anyway, I think that's about all we can say right now for these. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you haven't yet, please subscribe for the best PlayStation news, reviews, and updates that are here on YouTube. You can follow me on Twitter at Mystic Ryan. And that is it. I will see you all in my next video. You take it easy.